All right, we are now joined by Roy Nelson. First question is going to come from the line of Steve Jewin. Steve, your line is now live.
All right, thank you, sir. And I have just one question for Mr. Nelson, and then I'll get off the line. Roy, you've had such a legendary career already, so many great fights, so many accomplishments. If things don't go your way on Friday night, is this it for you, or do you keep on keeping on?
You know what? It's one of those things. As long as I'm competitive, I'm okay with however, because I know where I stand in the whole heavyweight division in the world, from UFC, from Bellator to ONE FC to the whole 9 yards. So as long as I'm competitive, I keep doing what I'm doing.
All right, thank you.
Our next question comes from the line of Giancarlo Aulino. Giancarlo, your line is now live.
Hi, Roy. You competed on The Ultimate Fighter before, and you might have that experience now of not competing with too many people in attendance. Does that give you the advantage, you think, coming into this fight?
I think it gives the advantage is definitely changes your fight style, because you're not going out there and making sure you're pleasing the fans. So you're just kind of going out there and just, getting the W any way you know how. I think that's the difference between when you're playing with fans live, it's like a rock and roll concert. You got to make sure everybody's happy.
And how does that affect a fighter? Like, you've been around this sport a long time. Having no fans, does that really take a toll on a fighter, or is it just that it allows you to hear a corner more and helps you?
I think having no fans just makes it a little bit easier on what the plan is, the game plan. Like when you have fans, you kind of shift towards making the fans happy when you hear live. So that's the only difference versus like your game plan changes. You can stick to a game plan better.
Thank you very much, and best of luck on Friday.
Thank you.
You were very happy for your teammate there. Can you just put it into words, though, just how proud you were of him?
I was living vicariously through Tim, because I've been asking for the Matt fight. I've been asking for a check. I've been asking for a lot of guys, and I just take fights whatever I get. So that fight was just one of those, kind of just marks, because just telling Tim exactly how to beat him and how to basically just get the job done. And, Tim executed a game plan that was flawless, besides a little headbutt,
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that too, because he said that in his post-fight that you were very helpful to him during training camp. Now, for this training camp for you, is Tim helpful to you just like you were to him?
I didn't really have Tim this training camp, just besides I think we made it work specifically for me, like, because this was a short notice fight for me. So not really, because we were, more for Tim. And then Tim actually had a fight. And then when he got back, he came back, I think so I got like maybe one good sparring session with him.
And then just the last thing for me then, a few years ago I was in Vegas and I stopped by Floyd Mayweather's gym just to see it. And you were in there doing some boxing training. So I was wondering, do you still go over to Mayweather's, and how have they helped you out helped you through your career?
Throughout my career, working out at Floyd's or Bones's, I pretty much I go everywhere I can find good work. So anywhere I can find good work and work with good people, that's where I'll go.
Thanks. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks.
All right, our next question comes from the line of Jay Anderson. Jay, your line is now live.
Thanks very much, and welcome back, Roy. I wanted to ask, at 44, what's the biggest difference in your training today from, say, 10 years ago?
10 years ago, the difference is not being able to find a gym now. This at 44, there's a pandemic, so finding a gym is really hard now. Back then, you could find a gym just throw a rock.
All right, now, if you do get past Moldavsky, would you be interested in being one of Fedor's final opponents?
You know what? I've always wanted to fight Fedor, but I think if I get past Moldavsky, or when I do, I think it's time for me to actually start picking who I want to fight versus, just taking whoever they give me.
And last one for me, you talked about, having the fans there, you kind of feel that pressure to put on a show. You've always been a guy who likes to entertain, though. Is that a change in mindset that you've had now where you've got to start looking out for yourself more?
No, anytime I've always, because the fans are the ones that pays the bills, but it's just different when it's live because they're not paying the bills now. Now it's TV stuff, so it's a little bit different. Now you just go out there and put on a show, but you just go out and win, and then that's all that matters because that's all the network matters.
All right, our next question comes from the line of Arkady Sakovsky. Arkady, your line is now live.
Hi, Roy. How are you?
Good.
Greetings from Israel. My question is, you are a knockout artist. You prefer to stand and bang in the phone booth, but a lot of people don't know and maybe don't remember that you're an excellent grappler. Will we see the grappler?
You know what? I'm hoping we'll see all my versatile tool belt skills that I have in this fight, just because that's what my coaches want to see. So I have to give them what they're the only ones. They're the fans that I have that are in my corner.
If anybody want to hear how good your grappling is, they should hear Rampage's commentary on The Ultimate Fighter after your win against the late great Kimbo Slice.
Of course.
Good luck to you, Roy. Wish you well and hope that you win, and maybe we'll see you fight for the title.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Our next question comes from the line of Dimitri Kagan. Dimitri, your line is now live.
Hey, Roy, you spoke about picking your opponents. With Valentin being a up-and-comer, he's got an impressive record. Do you feel like he was not worthy of fighting you, or would you have just rather fought somebody else? And how do you feel about fighting him? Have you studied him?
No, fighting, Valentin, I'm always gracious of, be able to fight, whoever, and especially up-and-comers, the whole night. It's just throughout my whole career, I've never actually picked a fighter, pick a fight where, but there's fights that are on my radar that I actually wanted, that it just never came to fruition just because, whatever politics are or not politics or how the game is played. But it's just, there's just fights that I want, and there's people I just want to beat up, and that's what it is. We're in the fight game.
I fully understand. You've been around the block. I mean, you deserved it. If you had your number one pick, who would be your number one pick or your top three? Fedor's just one of those legacy ones, but then a Matt Mitrione is I just want to beat him up and just make some money. That's just a fight. Who's the third one? You can't pick two. It's either one or three.
One or three. I give you two, and then Giancarlo would be another because
awesome.
Jack's right there on the. He just fought for the belt last, so and then I'd like to give him the chance to knock me out now.
Our next question comes from the line of Sergio Pinheiro. Sergio, your line is now live.
And it's not live.
Sergio, you there? All right, we're going to move on to Kevin Shajin. Kevin, your line is now live.
Hey, Roy Big Country, how we doing?
Good.
All right, Roy, you've had a long career. Given the length and success of your career so far, what goal are you most proud of, and what else do you want to accomplish in your career before you retire?
I'm still just plugging away and doing what I'm doing. Right now it's still for the the Bellator belt, and then once I fight for the belt and then win it, and then I can just go, here you go, and have it back. I'm good after that. it's just as long as I'm competitive, that's kind of how I see this fight game, because I just do what I love.
All right, last question from me is, listen, Valentin's an up and comer. It's been mentioned, but how much forward do you look to being playing spoiler party for this fight?
I love playing the spoiler party because I like to say, F you to everybody.
All right, well, thank you, Roy. Good luck. I hope to see a good old-fashioned big country knockout, all right?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, our next question comes from the line of Alex Behunin. Alex, your line is now live.
Hi, Roy. Last week in the conversation was all about Stipe and DC, and that they are the best two heavyweights of all time. I think people forget that you fought both of them back to back. Do you have somebody on the top of your head who's the best heavyweight of all time?
Best heavyweight of all time depends on what I guess. I think it's styles and matchups, because in the heavyweight division, it's literally, it takes only one punch. I mean, you had Francis fight, was it Jocko last week, with Junior? Francis fought. Is that his name? Was it that? You guys are no help over there, because you guys don't watch the UFC. You don't watch MMA.
Never seen it.
But no, just heavyweight division, just one punch can definitely change. So heavyweight can literally just change. I mean, you have somebody that probably like Stefan Struve would probably beat Stipe again, just because of just the reach and it's just a style matchup. I mean, no one ever would go, well, who knocked out Stipe? And be like, oh, it was Stefan Struve. You know what I mean? So in the heavyweight division, it's a big change of how the game's played, especially unless they're more athletic, and then all they're doing is just playing tag and they're not really fighting.
All right, our next question is going to come from the line of Jay Anderson. Jay, your line is now live.
Oh, hey, thanks. Just a follow-up, Roy. I know you talked about, when I asked what's the difference between 44 and 34, the lack of gym availability. How difficult has the quarantine been on you in terms of getting the training you need? I know this is short notice, but you've got those extra restrictions.
Oh yeah, no, it's hard to grapple with a mask on and a plastic bag, all that. It's just this whole pandemic thing is definitely I just wish it wasn't a political year, and then maybe we wouldn't be talking about this.
Fair enough. Thanks.
All right, our last question here is going to come from the line of Sergio Pinero. Sergio, are you there?
And he's not.
Sergio, can you hear us? All right. Well, that does it. Roy, thank you very much for the time. Up next, we have Julia